All right, so a quick video. This is part of the boxing essential movements kind of little mini series. This is just a quick one on walking with your punches. This is a really popular drill in Cuba and Russia. You'll see these guys doing it a lot. You know, they got the best amateur teams. They got really good boxing schools over there. And you basically are just walking normally as you normally would do, but adding your punches, all right? So this is really good coordination. And then once you start getting in your stance and doing your normal boxing thing, you're gonna notice your hands and feet are gonna be way more locked in, okay? Everything's gonna be more synced up. So check it out. Okay, so just like the other videos in this series, you know, you start completely squared up, feet pretty much on the same horizontal line, and you know, you're not really in a traditional stance, you're just standing normally, okay? So like the other video, we talked about it a little bit, you know, part one, we talked about running in place, adding your punches, right? It's similar to that. So once you can kind of get that little weight shift going from part one, you just start walking around normally. Forward and backwards, boom, boom. Adding all your punches. So this is a great warm-up. You see they do this in Russia. You know, they do this in Russia and Cuba. Great warm-up, great cool down. You just walk around with your punches, right? Make sure you're shifting your weight. Don't just do the hand motions. You know, you're stepping and you're shifting your weight with each punch, okay? So once you can do it forward and backwards, start mixing it up. Start doing it in circles. You know, work your pivots with it. Okay? It's a really great drill. I used it to help, you know, practice my check hook and my side steps. I walk backwards, you know, when you got to a point where you needed to turn, boom. Forward, boom. So after a punch, I want to turn this way, boom. Then I can continue going that way. If I'm going backwards, you know, after a punch, boom, boom. So that you turn your hips, and you get that big pivot. So that's, you know, that check hook, really popular in Russia and Cuba, all right? So that's how I used to practice that. Okay, so one more thing that goes along with this drill. Once you can, you know, shift, walk with each punch, try to double it up. So I'm shifting, shift. I punch. So I'm punching with the shift to my left leg, and I throw a right punch on my way back. Boom, boom. So once you can start doing these double punches, from there, they can become combinations. So if you see, I have a video on the secret to fast punching combinations. All right, once you've shifted your weight, it's like running in place. Once you've shifted your weight, you can throw a barrage of punches, all right? So you distribute that power, not into one big punch, to a bunch of smaller punches, as many as you want, you know, and then you leave with a big punch and some kind of defensive move. But it starts with these little doubles. Getting used to, you know, you've tied your hands together with the first drill, just walking. Now it's almost like you're shifting your weight and getting twice the punches, 2 punches for every weight shift now. So once you can do that, You know, then you try to mix in these bursts. So you're walking. You're not really doing anything different with your hips. Okay. But you end up being able to throw faster, little quicker combinations like that. You know, they're maybe not as powerful. You probably wouldn't do them, you know, all the time in a real fight, but you know, they're good practice. They help your speed. You can practice them on the bags, you know. A lot of this stuff is just coordination and balance and all that. So these are good coordination kind of drills, but they do help your speed. And you do see guys fight like that. They'll mix them in, you know. You got to be unpredictable. If you're constantly trying to throw little light, fast combinations like that, yeah, you're gonna get countered, okay? But you know, you got to mix it up. You might be throwing some, you know, throwing your normal stuff. You know, you get an angle and maybe throw a shorter little speed combo after that. So you got to mix all this stuff up, all right? But that's the drill, walking with your punches, right? Forward, backward, circles. Okay? On your pivots, boom. Then you start doubling it up. Eventually try to throw multiple punches per weight shift, all right? Boom. Okay, new close. All right, so while editing, I remembered there was one more drill I wanted to throw in this video. So this video was originally supposed to be 2 or 3 videos for each exercise, but I decided to just throw them all into one. So this drill goes right along with the others in this video about syncing your hands and your feet, okay? So you got the walking with your punches back and forth, but a cool exercise if you're having a trouble with a punch, especially this works great for the hook, okay? It really gets you familiar with the weight shift and the balance and the coordination that goes along with the hook. But you can do it with any punch, you know, do them all. So what you do is you do the same walking forward and backwards, side to side, all over the place but you're just gonna do that one punch you're working on. So for example, if I'm just gonna work on the left hand, I'm gonna work on the jab. So I'll focus on the left hand. I'm just throwing the left straight. I walk forward and backwards, just that one punch, okay? Forward and backward, just that punch. Okay? So when you're walking, make sure you're throwing a little weight shift into it, you know? You're doing a little kind of push. Your hips are involved. There's a little bit of snap. And that's kind of what's projecting your arm to go out, okay? So you go forward and backwards, you can go side to side, circles, but always, you know, start stationary. Just that one punch. Okay, so something to take note is that as you're going forward, your left foot syncs with your right hand, so step, punch. But as you go backwards, it's the opposite. So this is going to be tricky at first to get this down. See, right hand, right foot. Okay, so start stationary with this drill and focus on one punch at a time. That's the kind of expanded version of that walking with the punches drill. So like I said, it's really good for your hooks. So I'll do the hook. I'll do a lead hook. I'm thinking about lead hook, and I'm going to focus on my right hand first. So boom. forward, backward, boom, 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 boom. Okay, so now I'll do a left hook. Okay, so I like to practice both stances, and practicing things squared up like this gets you comfortable doing that. You don't have to fight like that, but it's good coordination, right? You wanna get the balance for these positions, because there are going to be people that are bigger than you, better than you. You will get put in positions where you're not comfortable, okay? And instead of taking a hit or being completely frozen, you might have to fight for a split second until you can regain a good position. You might have to be southpaw, okay? Even if you're not used to it. You don't have to fight like that the whole time, but you should be comfortable at least defending yourself from that position until you can get to your normal stance, okay? But these drills are great for that, because you're already thinking symmetrically in these drills. You're already getting the balance and coordination, okay? Okay, so like I mentioned before, you can do these drills going side to side as well, okay? Okay, so if I'm working the uppercut, side to side, then I'll do the left uppercut. So stationary, side to side, okay? So you get comfortable moving in all directions, right? So then when you get back in your stance, okay, you've practiced all these punches, right, left, forward, backwards, side to side. Your hands and your feet are synced up, so you're able to go any direction you want. You have the balance already in your feet and hips. They know what to do to get you in position to throw the punch you want to throw, okay? And it all happens just from practicing these things squared up, okay? All right, so a couple bonus drills. When you're first starting out, it's really hard to, your footwork is very confusing when you first start out, right? It took me a really long time. I had to like really think about what I was gonna do, how I was gonna step, what foot goes first and all that, So a drill, I wish I could find the video. Just some random, I'll look for the video and post a link if I can find it. It was just some random guy on YouTube posted this drill, and it was called it riding the bike, okay? So you start off by just running in place, right? Just running in place, and add your punches. So if you're a beginner, you definitely want to be doing this every night, before bed, 5-10 minutes, because you got to sync up your hands and your feet, right? The weight shift drill, adding the punches, this helps, and this will also help. Just running in place, all right? So Bruce Lee, in one of Bruce Lee's books, he talked about how running in place is like one of the most important exercises. Okay? So, you basically, you start running in place, you can put on some music, then start adding your punches, and then start moving around, right? All right, so you can make it as intense as you want by picking up the speed, varying the speed, right? That's going to make things a lot harder if you constantly are picking up the pace, dropping it down, emulating a fight. But again, these are the kind of things you do, you know, first thing in the morning. You do them as warm-ups, cool downs, especially right before bed. So you want to do them right before bed, because as you sleep, your body and your mind will it reprograms when you sleep. Okay, so sometimes you do these things for a few days, you don't notice a difference. Then after like the third or fourth day, that's when everything clicks. Okay, so try it out. So like the video, subscribe. Peace.